Hi and welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited about today's coaching video because today we're going to talk about something, and it's three little words, just three words, and that is do it now. Do it now. So, we all have the wherewithal, if you will, to procrastinate. We all do. And if you say you don't, you tell the tale, because we all procrastinate on something. And that's because either we're afraid to do it, we're afraid of failing, we don't know what we're doing, or we just don't want to do it at all. So today we're going to be talking about procrastination, reasons why we do it, and how we can break this vicious cycle. So let's jump right on in. Number one, I don't feel like doing it. And I think you all know that I've said this before. When it comes down to doing things that have to be done, we need to get out of our feelings. Nobody cares if you feel like doing it, do it anyway. So lack of motivation is a commonly given reason for not attending to an unpleasant task. Most procrastinators believe that something is wrong with them if they don't feel motivated to begin a task. And there's nothing wrong with you, it's just natural. This simply is not true. How many people do you know ever get inspired about cleaning their house, washing laundry, cutting the grass, raking up leaves, washing the car? Nobody gets motivated to do those things. They're things that we need to do. Now, what happens is once you start doing them, then you get motivated now that you're into it. And it's just like sometimes when you go to the gym, and we all have had times when we didn't feel like going to the gym. But once we got there and we started our workout, then all of a sudden we found this burst of motivation from somewhere. And we were all into it, right? But you didn't really feel like going. Number two, but I don't know how. Skill deficits are one of the most basic reasons for procrastination. If you lack the skills to complete certain tasks, it is only natural to avoid doing them. For example, you may be a slow reader. If you have several lengthy articles to read before you can write a paper, you may procrastinate the reading because it's difficult. You may even have trouble admitting your poor reading skills because you don't want to come across to other people as being dumb. And you know what? You need to just admit it and don't worry about what other people think. Thus, procrastinating may seem better than facing your need to improve your reading skills. Number three, but what if I can't cut it? Fear of failure is another reason people procrastinate. It goes a little something like this. If I really try hard and fail, that is worse than if I don't try and end up failing. In the first case, you gave it your best and you failed. But in the second case that I gave you, you really didn't try, and you really didn't try, so you didn't really fail because you didn't try it anyway. For example, you may postpone studying for a major test and then pull an all-nighter, because we all have done that at some point in time. And the resulting grade may be poor or mediocre. But you can say, I could have done better if I had had more time to study. Well, you did have more time to study. You chose to procrastinate, so you got the grade that you got. So that's pretty much how that goes. Number four, how can I top this? This is called the fear of success. And this can be the other side of fear of failure. Here you procrastinate because you're fearful and the consequences of your achievement. Maybe you fear that if you do well, the next time even more will be expected of you, and more times than not it is. Or perhaps succeeding may place you in the spotlight when you really prefer the background. Okay? So that's really something to think about, because you do have way too many people that don't try or don't start because they really are afraid that if they do it, it'll come off really great, and then people will expect more from them. And they worry about, well, what if the second thing is not as good as the first? Sort of like a movie. When there's a sequel, the sequel to the movie has to really measure up to the expectations of the first movie, if not exceed it. Okay. Number 5, this stuff is just plain boring. Lack of interest seems to play a role in procrastination. All students from time to time lack interest in a course. However, not all of these students delay in studying or completing assignments. And we all know that is usually the biggest reason why we procrastinate, because something is boring. We just really don't want to do it. Number 6, last and certainly not least, you can't make me. Rebellion and resistance constitute the final set of issues which can underline procrastinating behavior. Delaying tactics can be a form of rebellion against imposed schedules, standards, and expectations. The expectations are often those of a power struggle, usually not on a conscious level. So, for an example, your father has an accounting business and has always planned on having you become his partner after college. But that's not what you want. And so you say, well, you can't make me take over this accounting business because that's not what I want to do. Now, here's the thing. When you have that attitude, you can actually miss out on your blessings. Let me say that again. When you have that kind of attitude, you miss out on your blessings, because there's a reason why the father may want you to take on the accounting business. It could be to keep the business in the family. It could be because your father knows that you're going to be great at this thing, and that's why he wants you to step in and take over. But if you don't do it, guess what? One of these days you're going to sit back and you're going to look back over your life and say, wow, what if? And that is an awful feeling, to sit back and think, what if? What if I had done this? What if I had said that? What if I had gone here, there, or wherever? So you don't want to be in that place where you look back over your life and do the what if game, because too many people play that game. You want to get to the end of your life knowing that you've done all that you were supposed to do, all that you could do, and all that you wanted to do. And now you can rest easy knowing that you fulfilled your purpose in life. And I'm always reminded of, drawing a blank, of Les Brown. I'm always reminded of Les Brown when he talks about, and I love this, when he talks about how the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because in that graveyard you're going to find so many gifts and so many talents that were never acted upon, and you don't want that to be you. Can you imagine laying on your deathbed saying to yourself, Lord, I should have done this, I should have done that. You told me to do this, but I was afraid and I didn't do it. And I don't want you guys to be there, and I certainly don't want to be there. So I'm trying to walk in the gifts that God has given me, so that when I get to the end of my life, I'm not sitting back worrying about I should have, I could have. That just won't be me. So that is all I have for you today. And I just want to encourage you, as you move about the week, the month, the rest of the year, do it now. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting things off. I'm getting much, much better at doing things that I know I need to be doing right now. Because here's the problem, and I'll leave you with this. If you have something that you need to be doing, and you say, well, I don't feel like it. If you don't feel like it now, what makes you think you're going to feel like it later on? Chances are you're not. So just do it now. Get it over with. That way it is done. It is over, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I want to leave you with that word for the day. Do it now. I love you guys so, so much. I thank you so much for the way you always support me. Thank you for supporting my channel and just supporting all that I do. And I look forward to continuing to speak life into you throughout the rest of this month, throughout this year, and hopefully that what I say and what I share helps you. And if it doesn't help you, or if it's not the word that you need for this week, be sure to pass it on so they can help someone else. Until our next video, take care.